She managed to mostly not take it out on me. Mostly.
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're diving back into rSlash LegbeardStories. This particular one comes from my personal subreddit, r/ReddX reads. Thank you guys so much for over 750 members. I got like a push notification on Reddit about it, but I forgot to mention it, and I think it's pretty cool. The number's creeping up every single day. We're at 773 as I'm looking at it right now. But it's just amazing to have so many people supporting and interested in this channel. The internet is a really goddamn big place. As far as which Legbeard we're getting into today, I haven't heard nothing from Solid Adept about that stealth beard since the previous post, which is sad because he does have some things to answer for. But today we have another Legbeard story going alongside that one, and that is Unfortunate. And I posted the prologue a few days ago. I will link that in the description for you guys. You may consume it at your leisure. It definitely has some twists and turns and plenty of cringe, so let's get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some LegbeardStories cringe. Unfortunate, Part 1, Greenie's sob story, but it might also be the prologue Part 2, possibly. That's not what a prologue is. Never mind, you good. We go get into the meat of it today. Man, I suck at titles. It's not the worst I've seen. I think Jake from Philadelphia is the worst I've seen. Thank you, ReddX, for reading my story. Hey, no problem. I got you, fam. Since there's interest, I will continue with Unfortunate and Company. If you want to listen to the prologue as read by ReddX, it can be found here or in the description, more accurately. Thank you kindly for the rendition. Unfortunate is the best in the British Legbeard voice. Kills me every time. People do seem to like it. I think why I wanted to tell what happened before I became part of the story was just to showcase that things were nuts way before I ever put my spoon in this psycho soup. This part is really sad and mostly about me, so I'm gonna get a drink. Maybe I should follow suit. Let's also get the trigger warnings out of the way for those who appreciate them. Death, loss, rape, depression/suicidal thoughts, and the cast as well. We've got Unfortunate, our specimen, weeb extraordinaire, chubby, wispy dark curly hair, wears ill-fitting shirts and anime shirts or vaguely gothic Lolita dresses, big glasses, tiny boobs, big butt, bad halitosis, unstable attention vampire. If things weren't focused on her, she would make them become about her. Naruto headband, still dating Unfortunate. A weeby Chad, legit wore a Naruto headband to school. Fit, with long brown hair, was kinda going for Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, but hair was longer and he was way more awkward. I also vaguely remember getting a comment about how I pronounce Naruto headband. It's just the easiest way for me to say it. Mimic, my friend who had a huge crush on Naruto headband. We share the same first name, but everything else about us are opposites. I'm light-skinned, skinny, tall, blonde straight hair, rather quiet, and a doormat, while Mimic was short, round, wore glasses, had naturally curly black hair, almost an afro because her father was from St. Dominic. She talked nonstop and was very assertive once you got past her initial shyness. Turtle, my new best friend since starting junior high. We've been friends since we met at 13 years old up until our now 30s. That's a good run. A quiet Chilean art machine whose wit and humor is best experienced through her artwork. Since she speaks no language that well, legit, she struggles with her native Spanish, struggles with the language of the countries that she's lived in most of her life, and English is a bit so-so too. Heart of silent gold. I would take a bullet for her or donate a kidney, no questions asked. I mean, knowing a language well is important, but it seems like she expresses herself in other ways, so maybe that's just fine. Greenie, that's our OP. Second year in junior high at this time, still trying to hee-haw and ha-ha away all them sads. A quiet grade A student who had a bleeding heart syndrome and said, "Oh, everyone's nice if you just love them enough." Yeah, that kind of mentality, which led me to making all the wrong kinds of friends. Also had a desperate need for human contact and something good for this part, more below. Baldy was Unfortunate Nookie's ex-boyfriend who raped her and was also into kitty prawn. Oh god, I hate him so much. I forgot about him until I just read that. God damn it. First love was Unfortunate Nookie's first love, where Unfortunate Nookie made him have sex with her when she was only 14. Ugh, cheated on Naruto Headband with First Love while they were together as well. Alright, so let's get to it. Buckle up. We gonna get dark before it gets ridiculous again. Oh man, I like ridiculous better. But we gotta roll with the punches. It's the mid-2000s in junior high. I'm in my second year now. Unfortunate Nookie had moved on to another school, and the fall semester had been relatively peaceful and without any spicy drama or shenanigans, at least that I can recall. My friend Mimic had been gushing about Naruto Headband for months, and I just encouraged her to be brave and honest about her feelings. It's good advice. The worst they could say is no, but once they say no, you should back off. Let me be clear about that. All was well. All was good. I mean, Unfortunate Nookie occasionally appeared to sometimes literally drag Naruto Headband away from school, but as for me, I had peace. That didn't touch me yet. I had made one of my friends for life, Turtle, in junior high. She introduced me to DeviantArt and Team Artail Oikaki boards. We doodled in school. We doodled after school. We played video games, and her Hispanic family treated me like one of their own. It was a good time. Unfortunately, the good times, they never last. In November of that school year, I went home on a Tuesday with Turtle in tow to drop off my school bag and inform my single-parent mother that I was going to spend the evening at Turtle's house, as I often did. Turtle waited downstairs as I walked up to the third floor where my apartment was. I opened the door, and there my mother was, dead on the floor. Jesus Christ. And she's a single parent? God, I hope OP has like some nice aunts or uncles or grandmas or grandpas to take her in. Ugh, such a terrible thing. I was almost 15 at the time, and this is the traumatic event that I mentioned in the prologue. This section is, to me, already heavy as is, so I won't go more into how or why she died and the full trauma of that. It was just bad, okay? I respect that. I ain't gonna pry. I do love to pry, but OP said they don't want to talk about it. That's okay. My life obviously turned upside down. I had to leave the apartment that I had spent my entire life in, and I moved in with my older brother, 23 at the time. Dad had left us when I was 4, and while we were close, I didn't really feel comfortable living with him, while I was used to sharing a home with my brother, whom I grew up with. Well, thank God for older brother, and he's a saint for, like, stepping up to the plate and all that. I mean, I don't really know any brother that wouldn't, at least not the decent ones. I didn't go to school for the first week after she died. My brother didn't take her death well either, and he had no idea how to care for someone. We tried to make it work, though. One of the first things that he told me while hugging me is that you have to grow up now. She's gone. Being told that less than a week after her death, as a 14-year-old, while he more or less left me alone in his apartment, kind of broke me. I find myself saying this often. Like, his actions and behavior, it's kind of shitty, but he is doing the best that he can. I don't know what I would do if I had to take care of a 14-year-old sister when I'm only 23. Like, oh boy, this is messy. This is dark. See, my brother was a bartender, so his routine would be to come home at around 6 to 7 a.m. when I woke up for school, eat, sleep while I was at school, wake up when I came home from school, shower, and then leave for work. Rinse and repeat. We barely spoke. He had next to no time for me, and he found it extremely difficult to talk about feelings. So essentially, yeah, I was alone after my mom died. My brother knew that I was a good kid, so he didn't supervise or check up on me at all, and, well, I ain't gonna lie, I was silently hysterical. I was absolutely terrified of nothing living being around. Mom dying just compounded each moment spent by myself, and to me, quiet started to mean death, and I could not wait to go back to school where there was some noise, some life, any life. Ugh. Again, it's sad, but I can't fault the brother, you know? He's working, trying to keep his apartment and stuff like that. I just don't know, man. There's no such thing as a black and white situation, to be quite honest. When I went back to school, the pitying from everyone was something that I couldn't stomach, especially from my friends. So I tried to make new ones, and thus started hanging out with Mimic and her classmates, as well as, through her, Naruto Headband and his friends. I honestly don't remember much from that time period except hurting inside and desperately hanging on to reasons to keep going. I was also convinced that my mom died because I failed to keep her alive. It took me years to let go of that guilt, that her pulmonary embolism and amphetamine overdose that killed her were not at all my fault. I literally didn't even know that she was an addict. Bright kid, huh? Well, I can't even blame you for that. We try to think the best of our parents. As a junior high schooler, I don't think any sort of addiction would have crossed my mind. I'm just like, okay, stepdaddy gets up and drinks a beer, and that's how life is. Because this is what we get taught is normal as kids. You don't have any other frame of reference. It's so weird, man. So weird to think about. I wanted unbiased and honest opinions from people who didn't know me to tell me that it wasn't my fault. So I faded away from old friends and made new ones. I hoped people would tell me that it wasn't my fault, but I also kind of waited for an excuse to drive the guilt over the edge and join Mom. Yeah, it was a dark time. But I also kept smiling, kept making jokes. Some people were mad because I didn't seem sad enough on the outside. Bitch, I was drowning and trying my hardest to paddle up shit creek. Now, I know OP says they don't want pity and stuff like that, but I do offer my sympathy. This is really sad, and I relate a lot to covering up your hurt with humor. You can see it here on this channel basically every single day. Also, since I was a good student, TM, with an "oh shit, she's been through a tragedy" sticker on my forehead, all of my teachers said if anything ever became too much, I could just leave in the middle of class without any negative consequences. And it became a habit where, for no reason at all, sometimes just because I could, I would leave school whenever. All I had to say was, "I'm not feeling it," and the teachers would look at me with sadness and let me leave. That seems kind of irresponsible. So the whole unfortunate Nookie cheating on Naruto Headband with first love mentioned in the prologue happened sometime during summer. Yet Naruto Headband still did not leave unfortunate Nookie. That Nookie was too good, I guess. When we did start talking, we had a lot of mutual interests. Action movies, video games, drawing, martial arts. He got that hungry glint in his eye about this girl in front of him that was into such cool boy things. I usually got free movie tickets for my birthday, so I think I might have offered to go see Spider-Man or something with him in the theater. I mean, for me, it was just less time alone to contemplate death and how alone I actually was, so I was super into having basically anyone around. Later on, he'd explain that this was a big turning point for him, that I like cool stuff like Spider-Man. So yeah, we spent some time together and talked a lot for like 2 to 3 months. He said he was incredibly jealous of my boyfriend. Yes, I had a long-distance relationship at this time, because I drew this cute couple art about us. all we could really do, as we weren't able to meet in real life. And the more he told me about Unfortunate, the more I hated her. All he did was make himself out to be this poor, nice guy and a victim, and that he didn't know how to help her or how to leave. I said I'd rethink his beard voice in the last episode, but from what I'm hearing here, still pretty beardy. I think in January he did try to leave her and have her come over and take all her crap out of his house, but somehow, as he told it, they ended up like arguing and then having sex. And then he confusedly said that they're still together. The girl was good at using her poon to manipulate people. I give her that. Naruto Headband tried again, and it ended the same way. Argue, somehow angry sex. Wow, still a couple. Just how? Angry sex is pretty good, though. This is all just part of the dirty dance, I do suppose. I was disappointed with Naruto Headband for not staying strong. Either you love this girl and you'll make it work, or she's horrible and makes you suffer like you've told me, and if so, then you leave that shit behind. Dude needs to grow some balls, or maybe he actually does like it. Like I said, maybe it's just the dirty games that they play. Meanwhile, Mimic was trying to get Naruto Headband's attention. She was super happy to hear Naruto Headband and Unfortunate were not doing well, and reveled in them attempting a breakup. She felt that her time was coming. She baked him cookies that were straight out of Chobits, literally telling me that that was where she got the idea from. Here's the picture of the cookies. It reminds me of Yoshi's Cookie. Anybody remember that game? No, I'm just old. All right, moving on. She did an excellent job, and they looked just like that, actually. Naruto Headband loved food, didn't notice anything odd, or even get the hint that Mimic was trying to win his affections. And he just went, sweet, and ate them without a second thought. What a dick. I mean, he's a junior high kid. I don't think he thinks too critically about basically anything. Mimic baked him many things, all of which he gracefully ate, never taking any of the hints. She also tried giving him gifts, saying nice things that hinted that it would be nicer together. But Naruto Headband was oblivious to all of these subtleties. Well, consider the Legbeard that he's dating. Not exactly subtle. You're gonna have to go balls to the wall here. Since all the signs and subtle hints that Mimic was dropping weren't getting through to Naruto Headband, I stepped in and point blank asked him, does he like Mimic? Naruto Headband, she's okay, I guess. OP, she really likes you. And as her friend, I can tell you she's a really sweet person. You should give her a chance. Naruto Headband, she's not really my type. OP, how would you know that if you haven't even given her a chance? Naruto Headband, she reminds me too much of Unfortunate. I like girls who are more like you. Oh, God. It might have seemed sweet in that moment, but to me, it's menacing. And he gave me this look. At the time, I thought it was love, but hindsight is 20/20, and I now know that it was just lust. He wanted a new toy. In either case, it took me plenty of seconds to do the math in my head, because I had been the undesired, ugly kid, bullied all my life, and then suddenly this guy was actually interested in me. Me. This dorky, quiet goofball wearing oversized boys' sweatshirts. My headspace was not good for relationships at the moment either. I would agree, considering what happened at the beginning of the story. I didn't know what to say to that, so I just walked away from him. In my head, I was going, error, error, abort. This is not how this was supposed to go. I was trying to play Cupid for Mimic. Abort, error, crap. Naruto Headband had trailed after me. Naruto headband.
Don't you like me?
OP. As a friend, sure. Besides, I already have a boyfriend. Naruto headband got sour about this. I had talked to him about the guy that I was in a long-distance relationship with, and he chose this moment to reveal to me that Baldy had raped Unfortunate. Naruto headband.
Your guy reminds me a lot about him. I just worry for you. I just want to make sure no one gets to hurt you, like Unfortunate was hurt by Baldy.
Oh, look at him. Such a nice guy. No ulterior motives at all. Yeah, right. I brushed this and him off as paranoid, but I felt that it was nice that someone actually worried about me, since my brother didn't really seem to. And even if Naruto headband was right, my guy lived in another fucking country and was afraid of drowning because he couldn't swim, and airplanes. There was a reason that we'd never met IRL, and we never would, and it wasn't just because of my broke ass. Also, Naruto headband drew me a cute loving doodle of like a silhouette of him giving me a flower, where he also wrote those words to me.
I just want to make sure no one gets to hurt you.
Except me. Yeah, the irony, because he would end up being the one who would mentally and physically abuse me for years. Hate to say I saw it coming, but yeah, everybody saw it coming, man. I think reading Neckbeard stories every single day has honed my senses. I could probably spot a neckbeard from like 10 miles off before he even says a word. So good, dude stays with the beard voice. As my goal and joy in life during this time, the distraction I felt I needed was playing Cupid for Mimic. I told her that Naruto headband had basically said he's into me, not her. And also that he said that she's too much like Unfortunate to even be interested. Mimic was furious. She managed to mostly not take it out on me. Mostly. They mostly come at night. Mostly. Because I had told her that I would try to ask him point blank before I did that, and I also reported back honestly. I wasn't trying to get in between them, I was just the messenger. She asked me to back off from Naruto headband, and I obliged because I was not interested in him. I was invested in making something good happen in the world, like seeing two of my friends happy together. Unfortunately, Naruto headband would constantly seek me out, either in real life or online. And throughout all of this, Unfortunate was blissfully absent. Or, well, she was a constant pain in Naruto headband's ass, and bothering and boning him. But Mimic and I were not bothered by her at this point, is what I'm getting at. But she is indeed a-comin'. You can't ward a Legbeard off for too long, I tell you that. Alright, so Valentine's Day rolls around. I'm not sure about other countries, but in mine, Valentine's Day translates as Friendship Day. So it's very normal for it to be also about celebrating platonic relationships and kind of much like Thanksgiving, I guess. You just let your friends know that you appreciate them a hell of a lot. There was also a love letter mailbox where you wrote a person's name and class, and a few students assigned as Cupids would deliver these letters. Do you have to pay for that service? I think that's how it was at my high school. And I also think a lot of people had things delivered to themselves. It's just a conspiracy theory, but I'm pretty sure it's accurate. Anyways, I remember writing notes to Turtle and a few others as thanks for being my friends. There was also this stupid contest in school where you'd wear a paper heart on your neck for the whole day, and every time you hugged someone, you'd write their name down on the heart for all the people that you've hugged. Whoever had the most names at the end of the day won something. These were the days before COVID, when you could actually go and hug strangers. For me, that Valentine's in particular, I was just super bitter. My mom had been my best friend. This day was just a reminder to me that she was gone. I was very jealous of people who still had moms, best friends. things that I didn't. I was avoiding Mimic because she was mad at me for Naruto Headband falling for me and not her, and I was avoiding Naruto Headband because I was trying to be a friend to Mimic. Ugh, what a tangled web we weave. I avoided my other friends like Turtle because seeing them feel sorry for me was just pissing me off. I was also increasingly more disappointed with Naruto Headband for not fucking breaking up with Unfortunate because there was honestly no good reason for staying with her. I think the one and only reason for him is right between her legs. Overall, I was just full on mood done. I tore up my Hug Heart collection and walked out of school crying. I could not handle all the things that I was feeling. Nothing in my life was going the way that I wanted. Then, a wild Unfortunate appears. She wanted to spend some quality time with her beloved. She'd skipped school because nothing was more important than their relationship, and she missed her boo. As Naruto Headband tells it, breaking up with Unfortunate was like floating a swai away.
Yeah, go away. We're not together anymore. I don't even like you anymore.
He also wasn't apparently aware when he broke up with her it was Valentine's Day, which was probably the worst day of the year to break up with someone. It wasn't an intentional slight. He really just is that stupid. I like to call it like a legendary stupid. God, I remember doing this to a girl in 8th grade. I didn't get her a present. I broke up with her instead. I really feel like an asshole about it now. I had managed to suppress that memory until OP just brought it to the front of my mind. So, thanks for that. Although she did call my house a couple of years later and told me about her 2 children. So, I think it was actually a blessing in disguise. I think I was sitting there playing Banjo-Kazooie at the time. God damn, all I wanted to do was be a kid. And she's like, yeah, I got kids. I'm like, that is fucking terrifying. Tell me no more. God, that memory just comes back like a shot. But anyways, I don't want to get off on too long of a tangent. As Unfortunate tells it, this was one of the worst days of her life. And she probably still is mortified. Break up? What do you mean break up? Why? Is it because of that whore that you're so interested in? What really hurt was how easy it seemed to be for Naruto Headband to just let her go. How little she and their relationship seemed to mean. And that he did this to her on Valentine's Day, of all days. All really big red flags that you should have taken note of, I do suppose. Meanwhile, Naruto Headband's love letter to me got sent to Mimic. Different class, but as said, we shared a first name. So the student Cupid's done goofed. She was, for a second, over the moon. She sought out Naruto Headband to ask him to go on a date with her, to thank him for finally giving her a chance. Naruto Headband tore his love letter back away from Mimic and went,
It wasn't meant for you. It was for Greedy. Have you seen her, by the way?
Mimic hit him in frustration and just marched away. I got a phone call. It was the first time I opened the phone and there were no words, just yelling. Pure rage. Mimic called me, screaming incoherently, with the occasional understandable gems like, bitch, and you backstabber, some friend you are, I hate you. I know it's not your fault, but I wish you were dead, etc. Well, that's one bridge burnt, I guess. I barely understood what the hell had happened because I wasn't aware of the letter either. She was just screaming venom at me. Honestly, I was so dead inside that it didn't affect me one way or the other. I was sorry for her, but like, man, I hadn't even tried anything. You doing the right thing, OP. Naruto Headband left both Unfortunate and Mimic to bawl their eyes out at the school and kept looking for me. He didn't find me that day. Oh, but he would continue the hunt. If there's one thing that beards are, it is patient. For the entire week, he kept asking me out several times a day, every single day, giving me various reasons
Why we should be together.
I kept turning him down, saying that if he wants a relationship, Mimic has been pining after him for months. Also, I still had a boyfriend. He kept being meaner and meaner about Mimic to me. I stopped playing Cupid between them because both would say such venomous things about one another to me. And after relaying a couple of them in the beginning, such as Naruto Headband saying about Mimic,
She emits the same kind of crazy bitch vibe, like Unfortunate Nookie. It kind of looks like her too. I just find her disgusting.
and Mimic about Naruto Headband, I don't know what I saw in him. That guy is a cruel idiot. Damn his cute face. Naruto Headband also kept hinting that my boyfriend sounds like a creep who will hurt me if I stay with him. I think he even got physical with me. Like, he grabbed me, frustrated that I wouldn't just say yes to him, holding me by my arms. There were witnesses at school, so when he didn't let go when I asked, that's when all of our friends did. Although Mimic was already stomping away upset in the background. He finally let me go and just walked away in a huff as well. Eventually he stopped asking me and agreed to go on a date with Mimic after the umpteenth argument with me where I stated my points of, don't knock it if you haven't tried it. You really don't know her. She's not Unfortunate Nookie. Also, I'm taken. Stop fucking bugging me. Tell her like it is. A few days later, something came up and Turtle couldn't hang with me. No one had time for me. I was alone again. Terrifyingly alone with my thoughts in my brother's empty apartment where I still felt like an intruder. I remember being afraid to open the fridge in his apartment, my supposed home. The silence, man. I just couldn't deal with it back then. I just couldn't. And I was deathly allergic to being a bother, so if no one was available, I didn't dare ask anyone to just keep me company. I'd scroll through all my contacts, my closest friend and family, all busy with better things to do than hang with me for no reason. And there were the more distant ones, like the sweet PE teacher who gave me her private number just for such an occasion. Ooh, that's kind of hinky. I don't know about that. I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled, but didn't have it in me to actually ring anyone. My brother said that I needed to grow up now, right? I can't deal, but I gotta. Heavy, man. So I left the apartment and just walked. Walked and walked and walked. Aimlessly and trying to process the mess that was now my life. I don't know why, but I was really pissed off about no one looking after me. Like my brother was away 16 hours of the day, so when I left the school, I could have just done anything, gone anywhere. Anything could happen to me, and no one seemed to care. I toyed with a lot of self-destructive ideas, but I was a good kid. I just walked around with a lot of nasty thoughts, but I never acted on them. And I'm glad that you didn't, OP. I think a lot of people just assume everything's okay. Oh, your brother's taking care of you. Out of sight, out of mind type of thing. I don't think they fully realize just what an unfit caretaker the brother is. Despite what I assume are his best intentions. When I was 23, what would I have done taking care of a child? Like, I had just gotten kicked out of the Navy at that point. I was in no position. I feel for everybody in the story. I'm trying to see it from all angles, and there's just no easy answers, honestly. At some point, I had wandered into town, and I was by one of the movie theaters, and then I saw them, Mimic and Naruto Headband, on a date. So many emotions spun through me. I was happy to see familiar faces. Finally, I don't have to be alone. But wait, it's their date. Shoot, it was today? I can't intrude on that. They look happy together. The pang of sadness, of jealousy. Oh, balls. I did like Naruto Headband after all, and I kept rejecting him because I didn't think that I was interested, because I had someone, because Mimic saw him first, and now it was too late. Damn. To be continued. Next part is way more fun with the appearance of Vampire Fiancé. Remember, laughter is the music of the soul. If you can laugh at it, you can get over it. Beautiful, still love it. Also aim to shower daily, cause it's good for you. Greenie out. Also formatting and typos for signifier. There is so much to process here, man. I'm pretty sure OP only ends up liking this guy, in air quotes, liking him, because she doesn't want to feel like she's alone. You know, there have been so many red flags from this dude throughout the story. Just a completely callous person that doesn't seem to care about anybody but himself. Black eyes, kind of like doll's eyes. I don't know, man. I don't think I would trust this dude one little bit. Even if OP hadn't mentioned quite early on in the story that this whole thing does lead to like years of abuse. So this might be our first story that evolves from a Legbeard story into a Neckbeard story, unless we have more unfortunate Nookie to come. Who can say how it's gonna go? I'm gonna roll with the punches. I definitely do hope that things are looking up for you now, OP. I think you mentioned in the story that you're about 30 now, so hooray, you're my age. And generally, yeah, things are looking up. You kind of get it figured out by that age. But if you do still need some help, then hit me up and I'll do anything that I can for you, as I will for basically anybody. I'm very reachable, very accessible, and I want everybody who watches these videos to know that I am in your corner. I hope that you like, comment, and or subscribe on this video. If you did enjoy it, friends, maybe share it around if you should like. That is extremely helpful. We also got some links in the description, all kinds of plugs and playlists and social medias, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Those are where you hit me up. We've also got, oh, my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. Yes, indeed. I would like to thank them all for supporting the channel. So thank you very much. Calvicus, Fatboy Shrimp, Robert Waits, TSM Kirby, USMC 8932, Aaron W, Twisted Child, Delicious Jelly Donut, Candy Sora, Fire Drake, Livison, Mr. Anime Manga Fan, Silent Revolver, Zero MX, Magdala Marshall Thorn Rose, Cherish Kitsune, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Rouse Tower, Satori, Babsy-kun, Caustic Fox, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Fisher Diggy, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, OG James Cook, A Pimp Named J Crisp, JM Coon, Jerry, John Hero, Miss Monday, Lexi Loves JoJo, Lord Lion-O, Jackets Rule, Malgar the Destroyer, Mirthful Baker, Mr. J, my boy Nat One Nick, Lady Nix, Origami Steve, Katie Kinson Elizabeth, Sidestep, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ash, Siegfried, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tapioca Boogaloo. Oh, he's new. Hey, how you doing? Definitely glad to have you aboard. We've also got Tato Ferret, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, That Duck and Bug, The One True Fusky, Treeberg, Wilmax, Redwin, Goose's Honk, Leon Embers, Naga Viper, Saints Blessing, John Endorse, A Normal Joe, Amara, A Roxers, Cake Jerry, that's a different Jerry. California Keto Girl, Cinnamon Bunny Dog, KJW, Kajow, Crafty Kitty Cat, Little Ann Woods, Mark 211, maybe next time, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Organic Cam, Princess Rosalie, Ghosty, Raptor Art, Ellie, The Last Shinobi, and the Necrobomicon. Thank you guys very much for supporting the channel in the way that you do. End of the month is coming up. You might have noticed that I updated the patron list, which I said that I would do a few days ago, but I kind of put off until just now. I hope you forgive me for that. I also hope some other people will consider joining up. But if you can't do it right now, financially, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I will see you in the next one, and until then, bye-bye.